My hands were trembling. The presence in my arms was crying, but not like a human child. It was a higher-pitched sound, like glass shattering in slow motion. Behind me, a planet thought I was a hero. A planet behind me thought I was a thief. Both were wrong. I was just a teacher trying to save a child. But I need to explain how I got here. From the beginning, my name is Dr. Elena Voss. I'm 32 years old, or I was, until the day time lost its meaning. I was a child psychology teacher at the Sector 7 Refugee Education Center. A strange job, I know. After the invasion, the meaning of the word teacher changed a lot. We weren't just teaching math or language anymore. We were teaching survival. We were teaching hope. And sometimes, very rarely, we were teaching that two different species could live together. I lost my family in the evacuation zone 12 explosion. My mother, my father, my little sister Maya. All at once. When the Velkari ships first landed, we just watched them. We didn't know how to react. Then the lasers started. Buildings melted. People, my family. I don't talk about it anymore. But that's why I came back to teaching. To protect the children. I couldn't save Maya, but I could save others. Sector 7 was inside an old factory complex. Broken glass, rust-stained metal beams, but walls covered in children's drawings. Human children, Velkari children, even a few hybrids, born in the early days of the war, when things were less organized. All together, side by side. Sometimes they fought. Sometimes they laughed. Mostly they were just children. That morning was November. The 14th of November, 2157. I remember the date because that day everything changed. A new student was coming to my class. From the integration program. One of the children sent by the Velkari Council as a gesture of peace to humans. Mutual understanding, they said. Cultural bridges. Nonsense. We knew it was a political show, but we went along with it anyway. What else could we do? My class consisted of 14 children. 9 humans for Velkari, 1 hybrid. Their ages ranged from 6 to 10. I taught them simple things, reading, writing, basic math. But what I really taught them was empathy. The humanity within them, or, for the Velkari children, the Velkariness. Each species had its own spirit. Both were valuable. When the door opened, the conversation stopped. 2 Velkari guards entered. Tall, slender, their blue-silver skin shimmered faintly. Their eyes were expressionless. They always were. Then, he entered. The child was small. He looked 7, maybe 8. But Velkari aging was different. There was no way to know his true age. His skin tone was lighter, almost translucent. Pattern lines on his body glowed with a faint pink light, depending on changing emotional states, they had told us. His eyes were dark purple. Large, wide, but completely empty. He stood there motionless. Hands behind his back. Back straight. His posture was perfect. Like a soldier. One of the guards stepped forward. He said something in Velkari. I couldn't understand it, and the child bowed his head. Dr. Voss, the guard said to me, through the universal translator. This is Kale 7. He was transferred from Sector 3 Training Center. He will be under your supervision. Kale 7. Not a name. A code. I smiled. I always smile when I first meet someone. Children sense it, it reassures them. Hello, Kale, I said softly. I'm Dr. Voss. But you can call me Elena. The child looked at me. No reaction. Didn't even blink. Welcome, I said. What's your name? Kale 7, he said. His voice was metallic. High-pitched but mechanical, as if played from a recording. My smile faded a little. I see. Do you have a nickname? From your family or friends? Nickname, not defined. Okay, then can I just call you Kale? Without the number. The child bowed his head slightly. Permission was not granted. Something tightened inside me. This child spoke robotically, as if every word was programmed. I knelt down, coming up to eye level. Then we'll get permission, I said. I promise. His purple eyes locked onto mine. Something flickered inside them. Very small, very brief. But it was there. The guards left. Kale entered the classroom. And from that moment on, everything was different. The first week, I observed Kale. Teachers always do this. We try to understand the dynamics of a new child. How do they learn? Are they social or introverted? What are their emotional triggers? But Kale, he didn't fit into any category. He was perfect in class. He answered every question I asked correctly. He solved math problems in seconds. He would read a text once and recite it from memory. But there was nothing in his eyes. He worked like a computer, efficient, fast, cold. During recess, the other kids played. They ran, they shouted, they laughed. Kale stood against the wall. Hands behind his back straight, eyes fixed forward. He didn't move. On the first day, I went over to him. "Kale, do you want to play?" He looked at me. "Play, it's not in my task file." "Task file," I said. "There are no tasks here, Kale. Just fun." Fun. He tested the word as if it were a foreign language. What is its function? My heart sank. This child didn't know the word fun. "It has no function," I said softly. "That's why it's valuable." He bowed his head. He said nothing. He returned to his wall. That evening, I sat in my office, taking notes. I was worried about Kale. This behavior wasn't normal, even for Velkari children. Yes, they were more disciplined, more structured, but they were still children. They played games. They laughed. They were curious. Kale did none of those things. The next day, I gave him a little test. I brought a puzzle to class, colored wooden pieces, a simple jigsaw puzzle. I told the other children to solve it together. I included Kale. The children swarmed the puzzle. They picked up the pieces, turned them, tried them. Laughter, little arguments, cooperation. Normal children sounds. Kale just sat there. He didn't even look at the pieces. "Kale," I said, "aren't you going to join in?" "The puzzle, it's not programmed." "It doesn't have to be programmed. Just try." Slowly, he picked up a piece. He turned it in his fingers, measured, mechanically. Then he placed it exactly where it belonged. In a second. Correct position, first try. Another piece. Same thing. Mechanical, perfect, fast. Within 10 seconds, he had finished the entire puzzle. The children stared at him in amazement. A few clapped. Kale didn't react. He just looked at the pieces, as if to say, "That's it? That's all." I researched in the office that night. I read everything I could find about the Velkari Council's training programs. Most of the information was censored. But I found a few leaked documents, illegal forums, former soldiers, dissidents. And what I read froze me. Elite training program, they called it. Only for royal children. From birth, they were trained to suppress emotional responses. They were desensitized to pain. Strategic thinking, battle tactics, leadership simulations. And worst of all, psychological weapon development. But that was just a rumor. Unverified. Maybe I was paranoid. Or maybe I wasn't. Late on the third night, I was at school. I was finishing paperwork, student reports, psychological evaluations. It was 11 o'clock. The building was empty. Or so I thought. A voice came from the hallway. Metallic. Cold. A commanding voice. I got up, opened the door slightly. The sound was coming from Kale's room. Yes, he was staying at the school. As part of the integration program, he was staying here. There were other children too, but they were in the dormitory, downstairs. Kale's room was separate. Special needs, they had said. I walked toward the sound. Slowly, quietly. My heartbeat quickened. I didn't know why. Just a feeling. Kale's door was half open. A blue light was seeping out from inside. I peered through the crack. Kale stood in the middle of the room. Eyes closed. Arms outstretched. The lines of the pattern on his body glowed, pulsing like a heartbeat. And in front of him, floating in the air, were holographic targets. 10 of them. All different colors. They moved, fast, erratically. The command voice rose. Target 12 meters. Eliminate. Kale's hands trembled. A purple light flashed in his palms. Then a shot. An energy wave. It destroyed one of the targets. It vanished like smoke. Target 8 meters. Eliminate. The same thing again. Fast, precise, cold. The command continued. Target 3 meters. Eliminate. Kale's voice faltered. Eliminate? Is it necessary? The voice paused. Don't question. Execute. But the target, why must I destroy it? Execute. Kale's body tensed. His hands trembled. His eyes still closed. And the purple light flashed again. The target was gone. The command's tone changed. Sharper. Emotional response detected. Suppression protocol initiated. No. But it was too late. Kale's eyes opened. Empty. Completely empty. And the training continued. I quietly backed away. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. This child had no childhood. This child was a weapon. And I didn't know what to do. The next day, I acted differently. I didn't pressure the children. I didn't ask Kale questions. I just watched. During recess, the children played ball. A small, plastic ball, a preoccupation thing. No one knew where it came from, but the children were attached to it. They threw it, caught it, missed it, laughed. Kale was standing by the wall again. I went over to him. But this time I did something different. I took a stone I had collected out of my pocket, small, smooth, bluish. I had found it on the road that morning. It was beautiful. That was all. Kale, I said. I want to give you something. He looked at me. He waited. I held out the stone to him. He looked at it. What's its function? It has no function, I said. But it's beautiful. It's just yours. He didn't understand. I could see it. He was searching for logic. But there was no logic. Just a simple gesture. A gift. Very slowly, he opened his palm. He took the stone. He looked at the stone. For a long time. Then he closed his fingers. He held it tightly. And in that moment, that very brief moment, the patterns on his body shimmered. A pink light flashed. A second, maybe less. But I saw it. Emotion. The first emotion. That evening, I sat in my room and made a plan. A very dangerous plan. A very illegal plan. But I had no other choice. I couldn't leave Kale here. I couldn't hand him over to this education. This child didn't know what it meant. He didn't know freedom. He didn't know love. And I would teach him, no matter the cost. But first, I had to earn his trust. A week later, I told Kale a story. The children were long gone. The school was empty. But Kale was still in his room for what they called special education. It ended at 10 o'clock at night. I waited in the hallway. When Kale came out, he looked tired. His purple eyes were dull, the patterns barely shimmering. Kale, I said, can I talk to you? He stopped. He waited. Come, I said. I want to take you somewhere. He didn't ask any questions. He just followed me. I took him behind the school. There was a small garden, most of it was dead, but a few bushes and a tree were still alive. Moonlight reflected off the fences. It was quiet, peaceful. Sit, I said, pointing to the ground. He sat down. Back straight, hands behind him. Still mechanical. I sat down next to him. For a long time, there was only silence. Then I started talking. I'm going to tell you a story, I said. A long time ago, before the invasion, there was a cat. His name was Felix. Felix was a very strange cat. Because he loved mice. Kale looked at me. Cats eat mice. True, I said. But Felix was different. One day, he found a mouse. It was injured. And Felix didn't eat it, he saved it. He brought the mouse home, fed it, nursed it back to health. And then when the mouse was better, the mouse thanked Felix. And they said, we should be enemies. But we're not. Why? And Felix said, because friendship isn't logic. Friendship is a choice. Kale listened quietly. Then he said, that's a silly story. Yes, I said, smiling. Very silly. Kale looked at me. Then, his lips moved. Very slightly. A sound came out. High-pitched. Crystal clear. Familiar but different. He was laughing. He was laughing for the first time. I closed my eyes. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Because that laugh was a child's laugh. Real. Pure. Free. And in that moment, I understood this child could be saved. He was still inside his childhood. He just needed to be revealed. But my time was running out. 3 days later, I found a document. By accident. Another teacher, older, of the Velkari race, came to my office and left a file. It ended up on my desk by mistake, he said. I think it's yours. It wasn't. But I opened it. Inside was Kale's real file. Name, Kale's Irith 7. Royal family. Son of Empress Velthara. Sole heir. Date of birth, 40 years ago, but Velkari aged slowly. Appearance, 7 years old. Actual age, 40. Education status, strategic weapon development, phase 9. Graduation date, November 18th. 3 days later. Graduation description, psychological weapon activation. To be deployed in the Imperial Border War. The file slipped from my hand. Weapon. Activation. Battle. 3 days later, they would take Kale. They would send him to war. And I knew what activation meant: the complete suppression of his emotions. The erasure of his humanity, or his Velkari-ness. They would turn him into a robot. No. I stayed up late that night, making a plan. It was a dangerous plan. Perhaps impossible. But I had to try. I wasn't ready to lose Kale here. The next morning, I told Kale everything. After school, we went to the garden. It was quiet, safe. I looked at him, that small, fragile being. And I told him the truth. Kale, there's something I need to talk to you about. He looked at me with waiting eyes. In 3 days, I said, they'll take you away from here. There will be a special ceremony. They call it graduation. I know, he said. The final stage of my program. Yes. But Kale, do you know what happens in that final stage? Silence. They will activate you, I said. That is, they will shut down your emotions. Permanently. You will no longer laugh. You will no longer wonder. You will no longer be you. I saw a flicker in his eyes. Don't you understand, Kale? They're going to turn you into a weapon. And it's not a choice. You didn't consent to this. You just were born. And they want to use you for this purpose. Kale looked down. He took the stone out of his pocket, the blue stone I gave him. He looked at it, long and hard. Am I a weapon? He asked. His voice was broken. No, I said. You're a child. And children should be free. He lifted his head. His purple eyes were full, tears or light, I couldn't tell. What can I do? He asked. Come with me, I said. Let's get out of here. I'll take you somewhere safe. Away from the war. Away from activation. Just somewhere you can view. Silence. A long, heavy silence. Then Kale said, you will be punished. Yes, I said. Probably. Why? Why are you taking this risk for me? I smiled. But it was a sad smile. Because I once had a child too. Maya. My little sister. I lost her. I couldn't protect her. But you. I can protect you. Something flowed from Kale's eyes. Purple, sparkling. Tears. Velkari tears. Let's go, he said. His voice was weak but determined. I'm coming with you. And in that moment, everything changed. We moved at 3 that night. I was prepared. A week earlier, I had found a contact, an underground network, fugitives and dissident Velkari. They prepared fake IDs for us, a vehicle, a route. We would go to the Hollows, the underground tunnel system, the old subway lines. Refugee communities lived there, protected from the scanners. I went to Kale's room. When I opened the door, he was asleep, or so it seemed. His eyes were closed, his breathing steady. But the patterns glowed faintly in the dark. Kale, I whispered. It's time. His eyes opened. He didn't seem surprised. It was as if he had been waiting. He got up, got dressed. No bag, no belongings. Just the blue stone in his pocket. We walked silently through the corridors. The camera system was down. My contact took care of it. We reached the back exit. The vehicle was there, old, rusty, but it worked. We got in. I started the engine. And we drove away. The first half hour was silent. Just the sound of the engine. We drove through dark streets, abandoned buildings, broken streetlights. The outer regions of Sector 7 were ghostly. Then Kale spoke. Elena, I'm scared. I looked at him. His purple eyes were wide, vulnerable. Me too, I said. But we can be scared together. You're not alone. I held out my hand. Kale hesitated. Then he placed his hand in mine. Small, warm, trembling. And so we drove on. 2 fugitives. A teacher and a prince. Wanted by both worlds. By the time we reached the Hollows, dawn was breaking. The entrance to the old Sector 12 metro station was beneath a derelict parking lot. My contact was waiting, a middle-aged man, human, with deep scarring on his face. Elena, he said. Yes, I said. And this is Kale. The man looked at Kale, frowned. Velkari. Royal patterns. Dangerous. He's a child, I said. And my responsibility. The man nodded. They'll be after you. Both sides. You know that? I know. Then come. Quickly. He led us down dark, damp stairs. The smell of wet concrete. Rust. Mold. But as we went deeper, sounds began to reach us: people, conversations, children's laughter. Finally, we reached the tunnels. The hollows were incredible. Old subway cars had been used as shelters. Cloth, plastic, old technology parts. Hundreds of people, and a few Velkari, lived here. Tents, fire pits, food stores, an underground city. The man led us to a small compartment. "This is yours," he said. "It's safe. At least for a few days." "Thank you," I said. The man turned before leaving. "Elena, I should warn you. The Velkari Council wants this child back. And not just them. The Earth Defense Coalition wants her too. Political bargaining chip. Both sides are negotiating. And you are in the middle." I swallowed. "I understand. Be careful. Trust no one." And he left. Kale and I were left alone. The compartment was small, a section of an old wagon, partitioned off with curtains. A mattress, a blanket, a lamp. That was it. Kale sat down, pulling his knees up to his chest. "How long will we be here?" "I don't know," I said honestly. "But until we're safe." Safe isn't defined. I sat down next to him. "Kale, tell me something. You, what do you want? Really? If there were no war, no training, who would you want to be?" A long silence. Then Kale said, "I don't know. I've never made a choice. Someone always told me what I would be." "Then you can choose now," I said. "You're free now." His purple eyes locked onto mine. "But freedom is scary." I smiled. "Yes, because freedom means responsibility. It means making your own decisions. But it's also beautiful." Kale leaned his head against me. For the first time, his small body trembled. And I held him tightly. Because that's what this child needed. Not a weapon. Not a prince. Just a child. A week passed. We were hiding in the hollows, quietly. I was teaching Kale simple things, simple human and Velkari things. How to play. How to rest. How to ask questions. And Kale began to change. The first day he was quiet. He just sat, waited. The second day he explored. He came out of the compartment, looked at the tunnels. The third day he talked to the other children, shyly, hesitantly, but he talked. The fourth day he played. The children had found an old ball. It rolled unevenly, but nobody cared. They invited Kale. "Come play." Kale looked at me. Was he asking permission? I nodded. "Go. Have fun." He went. And he ran. He chased the ball. He missed it. He fell. He laughed. And I watched, tears silently streaming down my face. Because this was normal. This was what childhood was supposed to be. But the normality didn't last long. On the 8th day, one of the men from the Hollow security team found us. "Elena," he said urgently. "There's a problem." I stood up. "What?" "Velkari guards. Up there. They're investigating. And Earth Defense is there too. They're looking for both of you. They must have placed a token." My heart raced. "How close are they?" "Very close. They could be here in a few hours." "Shit." I looked at Kale. He was still playing, unaware. "What are we going to do?" I asked. The man didn't answer. But I saw it on his face. There was no hope. That night, we prepared to escape. But it was too late. Lights entered the tunnels. Bright, cold, military. Sounds, boots, commands, gunfire. "Elena Voss." A voice echoed through the tunnels. I recognized it, General Marcus Harrow, head of the Earth Defense Coalition. "Come out. Hand over the child. You won't be harmed." Kale was beside me, trembling. "What do we do?" "We hide," I said. "Be quiet." But there was nowhere to hide. The hollows were too crowded. It was only a matter of time before the soldiers found us. Then another voice came. Louder, sharper. "Dr. Voss." A Velkari accent. I didn't recognize it. "In the name of Empress Velthara, I want my son Kale back. Hand him over." The Empress. Kale's mother. Kale froze. "My mother." Her gaze met mine. "Is she here?" "I think so." Kale swallowed. What should I do? I didn't know. Two powers were here, the Velkari Empire and Earth Defense. Both wanted Kale. Both for different reasons. But in the end, Kale had no family. Just a tool to serve either side. "Come with us," I said. "We'll find a way to escape." But Kale shook his head. "No, we can't escape. They'll find us. They always will." "Then what do we do?" Kale looked at me. And for the first time, truly the first time, he made his own decision. "I'll talk," he said. "I'll talk to them." We gathered in the main hall of the Hollow's. Military lights illuminated the entire space. The two sides faced each other. On one side, General Harrow and the Earth Defense soldiers. Armored, armed, cold. On the other side, the Velkari guards, tall, silver-armored, wielding energy weapons. And in the middle, Empress Velthara. When I first saw her, my breath caught. She was tall, very tall, 2 meters, maybe more. Her silver-blue skin shimmered, golden patterns dancing across her body. Her eyes were dark purple, but deeper, darker. She wore not armor, but energy cloth, royal style, flowing, glowing. Her posture was perfect. Her authority was undeniable. But there was something in her eyes. A fragility. Deep down, well hidden. But it was there. When she saw Kale, she froze. Kale, her voice softened. Just one word. But it held worlds within it. Kale stepped forward. He was holding my hand. Tightly. Mother, he said. Velthara's eyes shifted to me. Cold, hard. You are Dr. Voss. The one who stole my son. I didn't steal him, I said calmly. I'm protecting him. Protecting? Velthara's voice rose. By pulling him out of the training program and throwing him in prison? Is that protecting him? Denying him a future? I see what that future is, I said. A weapon. A robotic soldier. An emotionless tool. Who wants that future? Velthara stepped forward. He is my son. And I raised him to be strong. To survive. If the Empire falls, he falls. Don't you understand? I made him strong because I love him. But love, I said, is not imposing strength. Love is giving choice. Choice. Velthara laughed. It was a bitter laugh. There is no choice in war. Only survival. General Harrow intervened. End the discussion. The child will be placed under Earth Defense custody. A political asset. To be used in negotiations with the Velkari Council. Velthara turned to him. Never. My son is not your bargaining chip. Nor is he your weapon, Harrow said coldly. Both sides tensed. Weapons rose. Energy hums increased. And Kale stood in the middle. Small, fragile, alone. He let go of my hand. He stepped forward. Stop, he said. His voice was weak but clear. Everyone turned to him. Kale spoke. I am a child. I am not a weapon. I am not a bargaining chip. I am just me. Velthara's face softened. Kale. Mother, Kale said, I love you. But making me strong was destroying me. Elena taught me. Strength isn't killing your feelings. Strength is living with your feelings. Silence. Then Kale turned to me. Elena, you saved me. But I'm still putting you in danger. I can't stay with you. My heart clenched. Kale, no. But Kale continued, turning back to his mother. I can't go with you either. At least, not yet. Velthara froze. What do you mean? Kale took a deep breath. His purple eyes flashed. And the patterns on his body, those shimmering, beautiful patterns, suddenly burst. A wave of energy. Powerful, pure, uncontrolled. Everyone backed away. Kale shouted. I choose. Not my mother, not Elena, not you. I choose. The energy wave expanded. It disabled the weapons. It pushed the soldiers back. Everyone was in shock. And then, it stopped. Kale collapsed to the ground. He was gasping for breath. The patterns had faded. I ran to him. I picked him up. Kale. Kale, are you okay? He opened his eyes. He was tired, but peaceful. I chose, he whispered. For the first time. I chose for myself. That night, there were long negotiations. Velthara, Harrow, me, and Kale. At a table. We weren't friends. But we were talking. Finally, we found a solution. A strange solution. But the only option. Kale would stay neither at Earth Defense nor at the Velkari Royal Palace. A third place, a neutral zone. The boundary zone. An area under no one's control. And there, he would be free. But not alone. I would go with him. Velthara refused at first. My son cannot stay with strangers. I'm not a stranger, I said. I'm someone who looks after him. And he's as much your child as he is mine. Velthara closed her eyes. A long silence. Then she said, fine. But I have conditions. Kale has the right to visit every month. He can communicate with me. And if there's danger, he comes back. Agreed, I said. Harrow nodded. Earth Defense retains control. Kale files regular reports. No political activity. No weapons training. Agreed, Kale said himself. And so the deal was done. The next morning, Kale and I set out for the boundary zone. One vehicle. One road. And ahead of us, uncertainty. But Kale was smiling. For the first time, he was truly smiling. Elena, he said, are you scared? Yes, I said honestly. Me too, he said. But it's good to be scared with you. I smiled. Tears rolled down my cheeks. Yes, it's good to be afraid with you. 6 months later, we opened a small school in the boundary zone. Just 10 children. Human, Velkari, hybrid. All lost, all wanted, all wanting to be free. Kale was different now. He was taller, Velkari growth had accelerated. But in his eyes, there was that liveliness. That light. He laughed. He played. He asked questions. And sometimes, rarely, his mother came. Velthara. She visited. At first she was cold, distant. But over time, she softened. She sat with Kale, talked, listened. One day she said to me, Dr. Voss, thank you. I was surprised. Why? Because you did what I couldn't do. You taught my son love. I smiled. No, it was already there. It just needed to come out. Velthara nodded. And for the first time, truly the first time, I saw something in his eyes. Peace. Now I'm here. In the schoolyard. Kale is playing with the other children. The sun is setting. 2 moons are visible, Earth's and the Velkari colonies. 2 worlds, 1 sky. And I think, maybe this is hope. 2 worlds together. Different, but connected. Conflicting, but learning. And the children, they're our future. Kale runs towards me. He has a flower in his hand. He found it, he's giving it to me. Elena, he says. A gift for you. I take it. Small, fragile, beautiful. Thank you, I say. It has no function, Kale says, smiling. But it's beautiful. Just yours. And I smile. Because this child now understands. Love is not a function. Love is a choice. And I chose. My hands no longer tremble. The presence in my arms no longer cries. It's smiling. The planet behind me no longer thinks I'm a hero. The planet in front of me no longer thinks I'm a thief. Both of them have understood. I was a teacher, trying to save a child. And maybe I saved both worlds. Or at least I gave hope. Because in the end, hope is the strongest weapon.